a very warm welcome to this special presentation on what is a Super Sunday. The first match today is played between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Sunrisers Hyderabad, and the news from the Wankhede Stadium is that Royal Challengers Bangalore have won the toss and they have opted to bat first. So that's now something that we're seeing, day games where captains are choosing to bat first. Faf du Plessis at the toss was happy that for once Kane Williamson lost the toss and decided to bat first. They've gone in with the same playing 11, so no changes for Royal Challengers Bangalore. They did win the last game with that same playing 11, so the same game from the same playing 11 from the last game are playing today for Royal Challengers Bangalore. For the Sunrisers Hyderabad, they've made two changes to their playing 11. Sean Abbott and Gopal, Shreyas Gopal misses out. Farooqi and Suchit is back in again. Those are the two changes for the Sunrisers Hyderabad. We'll take you through the playing 11 in just a bit, but that is the news from the Wankhede Stadium. Royal Challengers Bangalore, they won the toss. They have opted to bat first. It is a hot day there in Mumbai, and at the pitch, Matthew Aiden saying that that you can expect to see a lot of sixes. It's a wicket where you'll see 175, 180 being scored, and also had said that whoever wins the toss, he thought would bat first. So there you have it, Nikhil. Sunrisers Hyderabad versus Royal Challengers Bangalore. Didn't take much to put the playing 11 because it's the same likely playing 11 we'd said. There were no changes in that lineup, and again, if the Royal Challengers Bangalore have to continue that winning run, then it's time Virat Kohli, Glenn Maxwell and Faf du Plessis get runs.
Absolutely, Maya. The big three have to fire for Bangalore. They've been disappointing. Virat Kohli hasn't scored runs, and when he scores them at a very slow rate, as we saw the 50 he made the other day. Maxwell has failed except for one innings. Faf du Plessis, because of his other two partners not scoring big runs, has had to play the role of the anchor, which is detrimental to the team's cause. He's only striking at 130. His power play strike rate is less than 100. When he was playing for CSK, he was batting at 150 in the first 6 overs, and his overall strike rate was 140. So the big three not firing, that has been the story for Bangalore, and therefore they have been losing more matches than winning lately in the tournament. Dinesh Karthik also, after being absolutely brilliant in the death overs, hasn't fired in the last 4 matches, and that is also a matter of concern. So Bangalore really, they need two of their top 3 to fire if they want to make the playoffs.
Also, since the start of this sustainability initiative since 2011, Bangalore have played these green matches, and in fact today is one of those days where they'll be wearing their Go Green jersey for sustainability, for the environment. So yes, Royal Challengers Bangalore, though the sad bit for this for Royal Challengers Bangalore fans is that they haven't won too many of those matches when they won the green jersey. So I don't know how that is going to play out for them. But if they do want to win, today will be the day they need to do it in this tournament. Now things are getting heated up. Things are, it's getting difficult for teams now in the bottom half of the table to want to come into the top 4. That's why it's such a crucial game today for both Sunrisers Hyderabad and Royal Challengers Bangalore. But for Sunrisers Hyderabad, what's been strange and interesting is how they follow these runs, winning run or a losing run. First lost the 2 games in the beginning of the tournament, won 5, now have lost 3 in a row, and they need to turn this around soon.
Absolutely. Firstly, let's get back to this match. It's a match for the number 4th spot. If RCB win, they will remain at the number 4 spot. They've lost 3 of their last 4 matches, and if SRH win, they'll also move to number 4. So it's now a 3-way race, Meha, for the number 4 spot between RCB, SRH, and Delhi Capitals. SRH, as you were talking about, hot and cold in patches. Yeah. Started the tournament badly, and that is what we expected because they didn't have a great auction, they don't have a great team, and still I'm saying that. Then they won 5 in a row, surprised everyone. But again, we knew that this would happen. We discussed this, that because of the weakness in the batting and bowling, this is bound to happen. They don't have superstars in their team, especially in the batting unit, although the bowling has let them down in the last few matches. So again, now they've lost their last 3 matches, again going through a downward turn. And if they don't pick themselves up, they may not qualify. So it is a fascinating battle. Every match counts now, especially a match involving DC, SRH and RCB. DC is playing later today, COVID permitting. So, the winner of today's match, will boost their chances of making it a top 4. If RCB win, I think, they'll just have a slight advantage over SRH and DC to make it to the last 4.
Also for Sunrisers Hyderabad now, if you look at their playing 11, you see now they made 2 changes today, Fazal Farooqi coming in and Jay Suchit coming in for Shreyas Gopal. Again, the changes are not, high impact changes. I don't see anything changing much with these 2 players, but I think what needs to change for Sunrisers Hyderabad is Kane Williamson needs to get runs. It is now getting to a point where they're desperate for their captain to get runs. Not only is he not getting the runs, whenever he has gotten them, he's got them at a very slow strike rate. We've talked about it, the slowest strike rate in the tournament for an opener. Number 2 is Virat Kohli on that list. Unexpected, but yes, that is what it is. And even with Abhishek Sharma, who is their highest run getter, is it time now to get Rahul Tripathi in place of Kane Williamson and bring him down? Absolutely.
Rahul Tripathi should open with Abhishek Sharma, and Williamson, has to play not even at number 3. I would say play at number 4. And, if Pooran and Markram are in form, which they are, he can further push him down the order, maybe come at number 5 if need be. I mean, because he is not in form, he cannot let the players in form not send them up, because it's a wasted opportunity otherwise. The bowling now looks, it's looking a little weak. I'm saying that because Natarajan is not there. Their best bowler in the death. This Farooqi is a left-arm seamer from Afghanistan. So interesting prospect, but again, no experience. A youngster from Afghanistan. Also, as the tournament progresses, we discussed this, they've relied only on a fast bowling attack. There is no spinner, there is no leg spinner, there is no high quality off spinner. Washington Sundar is not playing. So with no spinner and the wear and tear on the pitch is increasing, SRH may find themselves in a tricky spot because every other team has one world-class spinner at least.
That's right. And also with SRH, not only Kane Williamson, Natarajan, you mentioned that, Nikhil, he's being missed. I also feel Washington Sundar is being missed in this team. The kind of balance that he gave in the first half of the tournament, he's left a big hole really in Sunrisers Hyderabad squad when not playing. But for Royal Challengers Bangalore, Sunrisers Hyderabad, as we've been saying, important to win. How do they stack up? What does history suggest? Who has the advantage here? Well, from 20 matches that they've played, Sunrisers Hyderabad have the edge of having won 12. Royal Challengers Bangalore winning 8 out of those matches. But since 2020 again, it is Sunrisers Hyderabad 4 matches that they won against Royal Challengers Bangalore, who just won 2 in that period. The last match that they played, I think that's what stands out, because psychologically, how much of an impact will that make? Have Royal Challengers Bangalore been able to forget that 68 all out, the drubbing they got at the hands of Sunrisers Hyderabad this season? That will be important. Interestingly though, Nikhil, we were saying that maybe Marco Jansen will come in, given how he had changed the match on its head in 1 over, having taken 3 wickets. They haven't gone in with Marco Jansen. Very, I think it's difficult to forget the kind of hitting from Rashid Khan, from the hands of Rashid Khan, that we saw Marco Jansen get in the match against Gujarat Titans, where he went for some 63 runs for no wickets.
That's true, but it's also difficult to forget, it's not difficult to forget, rather, the 68 all out, and when he picked 3 for 25, he was the man of the match. So why would you get a left-arm youngster from Afghanistan and not the tall 6'7" Marco Jansen? I mean, a little bit surprised, because this is a big match for SRH. If they lose today, they really, are in the bottom half, and they're really struggling to make the top 4 then. Maybe this Afghanistan left-arm senior surprise package, not seen before by many players. So it's interesting, but I'm surprised that Marco Jansen is not playing.
Okay. Now, Sunrisers bowling worries. We've already talked about it, but conceded 2 200-plus totals, and one was, I think, 190 that they were not able to
defend. 195. Yeah,
that's right. To see this and wonder what seems to have completely gone wrong. Actually, not wonder. We know what has gone wrong. Because Sunrisers Hyderabad, the reason why they won those 5 games on the trot was because of their bowling and how
Right.
exceptional they'd been in the power play, striking at the right points. Whereas this time, in the last two games, firstly, Natarajan sitting out, Nikhil, and on top of that, then Umran Malik not being consistent, erring in his line and length, going for too many runs. That has been a huge difference.
Absolutely. You know, Umran Malik took a 5 for 25 man of the match despite his team losing, and then, you know, going for 100 runs in 8 overs, not picking up any wickets. So that inconsistency has hurt them. T. Natarajan, I think, though, is the biggest blow. He was exceptional in the power play and in the death. He had already picked 8 wickets in the death, gone for a few runs, but if you take crucial wickets in the death, economy rate becomes irrelevant. So T. Natarajan was getting the Yorker. He was brilliant in the death overs, and he's being missed big time in the last couple of matches. And we just spoke about these. Lack of not only the lack of a quality leg spinner, the lack of a quality spinner. There's no Washington Sundar even. So essentially they don't have a spinner. I mean, so they don't have a high quality spinner in this 11. And as the tournament progresses, you cannot win matches even if you have an exceptional fast bowling unit. So this is hurting. SRH is now, you know, now hurting because the bowling is not performing to the levels it was in the previous 5 matches.
So if for Sunrisers Hyderabad it is their bowling, for Royal Challengers Bangalore it has been their batting that has let them down. Firstly, to not have Faf du Plessis, Virat Kohli score consistently, that's a huge problem. 316 runs, but that, look at that strike rate of 130. And Maxwell, so much dependent on Maxwell for Royal Challengers Bangalore, and there were expectations, Nikhil, given how well he batted last season for Royal Challengers Bangalore. You suddenly said, oh, the moment he's come into you know, the Royal Challengers jersey, he's completely a different person, different player. We're not seeing scores from him. That is again a huge problem for them.
Absolutely. You know, Maxwell, du Plessis and Kohli, you know, these 3 have failed. And you see the combined batting average of the top 4, you know, that's a very interesting stat. Batting average combined of the top 4 of RCB in this tournament is the second lowest amongst all teams. It just shows that du Plessis, Maxwell and Kohli haven't done the job for them. You know, Kohli has failed in 7 of the 11 innings. You know, that is, if you fail in 7 of the, if your main batsman is failing in 7 of the 11 innings, you have a massive problem. And in the innings he hasn't failed, he scored at runner ball. I mean, that puts pressure on the other batsman to up the ante. And you don't have a Dinesh Karthik to bail you out every time. Dinesh Karthik has failed in the last 4 matches. Shahbaz Ahmed doesn't have the ability to take, you know, he's played well, but doesn't have the ability to win you matches single-handedly. So, you know, therefore RCB's batting, you know, their top order is not performing and they're letting him down.
Yeah, it almost seems like everybody else is doing their job. You know, you get Mahipal Lamrorer, he gets you some runs. Rajat Patidar got you runs. But what is expected was that your bulk of run scoring was to be done by Faf du Plessis, Virat Kohli and Glenn Maxwell, and that's not happening, and that's a huge concern for them. Okay, let's talk about the X-Factor players now. We have a couple of them, more than a couple of them in both these teams. So from the Royal Challengers Bangalore, it has to be Dinesh Karthik. He's due a good knock. We know how he started off this tournament by wowing us all, but can he now score a big knock? You know, some incredible finish that we've seen from him yet again, a high impact finish. It's possible, and if it has to happen, it has to happen now. If they want to harbor any hopes of getting through to the playoffs, they need to do it now. Absolutely.
Dinesh Karthik was brilliant in the first half for them. One of the major reasons that despite the top 3 not performing, they were in the position they were. But since the time he's not fired in the last 4 matches, and therefore RCB, it's not surprising he has lost 3 of the last 4 matches. Dinesh Karthik, I think, you know, because he's failed in the last 4 matches, it only, you know, means that he should come good now, given what he was doing in the first, you know, few matches of the tournament, and RCB will hope that, because if Dinesh Karthik doesn't fire, with the big 3 also not firing, the batting is in big trouble. We'll see more scores of 115, which they scored, 68, you know, in that range, because they are a team who have the record of the highest score in IPL history, also of the lowest score in IPL history. 49 is the lowest, I think. It's RCB. So RCB is that volatile team, hot and cold.
Okay, now for Sunrisers Hyderabad as well, one of the big concerns for them was Nicholas Pooran. In the beginning of the tournament, in the first half of the tournament, we kept saying, Nicholas Pooran, you've paid him so much money, he's not scoring runs. But now in the last 2 games, he's batted well at a very good strike rate, and he could be the difference today yet again. I feel like he's just, you know, loading up for what could be a big knock today from him. And Sunrisers Hyderabad, given that they're conceding runs by the bucketfuls, I mean 200 twice in the last 3 games, 191, you need someone like Nicholas Pooran to finish the games off in such situations. And he tried to do it in the last 2 games. Unfortunately, ended up on the losing side, but that's also because others from their batting, especially the openers, weren't giving you the start they would have wanted.
Absolutely. You know, the batting has been so poor from Williamson that's putting a lot of pressure on the, other batsmen. Nicholas Pooran is the lone superstar in this 11. There's a lot of pressure on Nicholas Pooran. His form is coming back in the business end of the tournament, and therefore, which is good for SRH because they need Nicholas Pooran if they want to sort of win matches. He is the X factor in that batting unit. He can win matches single-handedly. They would hope, that the next 50 he scores, it's in a winning cause. But for that, he needs support from the others in the batting order. He cannot be chasing 12 to 14 runs per over in the last few overs.
Absolutely. And whenever you're chasing down, or even when you're trying to score 200 plus, you need your openers to get you off to a good start, which hasn't happened for Sunrisers Hyderabad. One of the reasons why they haven't been able to defend those totals. Okay, now let's talk about some of the key battles that we're looking forward to today. One has to be with Virat Kohli and every other good bowler in the other side, because how tempting is this matchup now? For all bowlers, I would think, Nikhil, in these times to want to get the wicket of Virat Kohli. He's struggling, we know that, but this specifically, Bhuvneshwar Kumar has the wood on Virat Kohli in this one. Yeah,
I mean 3 dismissals in 13 innings, strike rate is not much, 121. So, Bhuvneshwar Kumar has done well against Virat Kohli. It's going to be an interesting matchup because, in the initial few overs, Bhuvneshwar always gets something off the wicket. He'll get the ball to seam and maybe a little swing also, and therefore Virat Kohli might struggle again. So therefore, it'll be interesting to see what Virat Kohli does. He cannot bat like the way he did in the last game. I know some of his fans are very happy he scored a 50, but it was a counterproductive innings, and he cannot be scoring at a strike rate of 100 come what may. I mean, personal form comes, you get out scoring 20 of 10 balls rather scoring a 40 or 40. And, that has to be, he has to play aggressor. There is no other way, even if he perishes in doing so for the team's cause.
It almost seems like even if you start with a slow strike rate, and which he had done, which he used to do, is that he used to cover it up. He used to make up for it. He hasn't been able to do it in this tournament, and that's what is also a huge problem. Now, on to the next battle, and that is between Abhishek Sharma and Josh Hazlewood. 2 innings, 17 balls, 31 runs, 1 dismissal. Josh Hazlewood is by far the best bowler right now for Royal Challengers Bangalore.
Yeah. I mean, Josh Hazlewood has picked 11 wickets already, and he's, at a brilliant strike rate.
And he hasn't played a lot of matches.
Not played a lot of matches, 11 wickets already, strike rate is brilliant, economy rate is less than 7.5. So he's been an absolute revelation. I mean, no one expected Josh Hazlewood, the line and length correct bowler, to be so good in this format. But Abhishek Sharma has also been a revelation for them. Who expected Abhishek Sharma to be the highest scorer for Sunrisers Hyderabad? I mean, who was Abhishek Sharma? He was, we were all sort of very curious that why has he been retained by SRH? Why has he been brought back?
And to open the innings.
To open the innings, to be the highest run scorer, outscoring at a time when Williamson is struggling to score runs, scoring runs very slowly. He stood out. His overall strike rate is in the mid 130s, which is quite decent for an opener. So Abhishek Sharma versus Hazlewood is going to be an interesting battle. Both are in-form players.
Okay, then in the middle overs, Nicholas Pooran, we already said, looking good now. Nicholas Pooran is looking dangerous, and him versus the leg spinners, which is interesting again, where he's been dismissed 11 times in 410 balls. And Vanendu Hasaranga will be looking at him in anticipation.
That is a battle which could potentially decide the match, because if Pooran takes Hasaranga to the cleaners, anything is possible. An average of 55 against leg spin is very, very impressive. But this is against conventional leg spin. Also, dismissals are 11 in 410 balls, which means the bowling strike rate against him is around 37. So, Pooran overall has done brilliantly against all leg spinners. Hasaranga is a very high quality leg spinner, and he bowls a lot of googly. Let's see what happens. If this is a very key battle in the middle overs.
It is a very key battle in the middle overs. The other is also between Dinesh Karthik and Umran Malik. Umran Malik will want to come back to taking wickets. You know, that's something that that Sunrisers Hyderabad would expect from him after having gone for so many runs, 100 runs in the last 2 games. But what can we expect from the Wankhede Stadium? Now, the trend has fluctuated in the tournament as it has progressed. And if you look at that, the trend, it is sort of, it is yo-yoed. First 4 matches, 4-0 to teams chasing. From there on, next 5 matches, 5-0 to the teams batting first. So it has confused the captains, and if they weren't confused enough, then in the last 5 matches, Nikhil, 4-1 to the teams chasing. So, I mean, I don't even know how to read this pitch, and I don't think a lot of people do right now at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, overall chasing is an advantage, but it's fluctuating, and you know, therefore, you know, but the only one thing we can say for certain now is in a day match, the captains are now batting first, and it seems to be an advantage. And in night matches, there's still some due, so chasing is still the norm. That is one pattern which has emerged. If you see, if you see the record of pacers and spinners here, you know, pacers have a better strike rate, but spinners have been more restrictive. So that is, you know, that is average first innings score last 5 matches 175. So it's not very high scoring. It's not also low scoring. Like Pune is around 160. So, you know,
I do think that it's good in the way the tournament has progressed, because in the first week or so, we just said every match was won by the team chasing, and we said how big an advantage is this going to be in the tournament, and that has changed. Now 53 matches on, 26 matches have been won by teams batting first and 27 by the team batting second. So it's evened out. And you know, that just goes on to show that we've seen what has been an even competition, and where pitch and the toss hasn't played such a huge role. Now, quickly, let's also take a look at the points table before we wrap this up, because now this is, the race is heating up. Gujarat Titans sitting pretty right at the top, 16 points. LSG right below them because of net run rate, and again 16 points. Rajasthan Royals 14, RCB. That's now important for them. And that's the thing, Nikhil. I think the teams who want to be in that 4th position, or are likely to be in the 4th position, a net run rate is so important for them. So not only would they want to win, but they'd really want to win well, because that'll get that last, I think the 4th position will come down to net run rate.
Absolutely. And there I think, you know, if you see RCB, they have a negative, very high negative net run rate, and therefore RCB is in trouble. See RCB negative .444. So for RCB, a win is very important, because otherwise DC, look at DC, plus +0.641, and DC has a match in hand. So if DC wins, and you know, then RCB is in trouble. So it's very important, therefore, for RCB to win this match. Also, SRH, if you see, are at number 6 right now. Yeah, SRH is number 6. They have a decent net run rate. So if they win, they move to number 4. If RCB wins, they stay at number 4, because the net run rate is not that good. So yes, that 4th position is going to come down to net run rate.
And that's why for all these teams now, not only would they want to win everything from here on, but they'd want to win them with big margins.
Absolutely.
It's important for them. So there you have it. That's the points table. Royal Challengers Bangalore, Sunrisers Hyderabad, an important game for them. Will we finally see a big score from Virat Kohli? Will Kane Williamson be able to score some runs? It's imperative that he does if he wants his team to do well in this business end of the tournament. That's it from Nikhil and me. Do subscribe to News9 Sports if you haven't already, and we'll be back at 7 to preview the next game. For now, goodbye. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.